Welcome back to all the students of class 7. This is Karnesh Misra from Lakshmi Prasad Memorial Public School, Gola Bazar, Gorakhpur. Dear students, today I am going to proceed you the topic the winds from the chapter 6 Weather and Climate from Social Study of class 7 or of your class. So today we will discuss about the winds and the types of winds in a detail. So let's start. First, dear students, what do you understand by the wind? And how many types of winds are there on the surface of the earth? Let's have a detailed discussions about it. The horizontal movement of air on the earth's surface from an area of high pressure to an area of low pressure is called a wind. As you all know that air is the mixtures of gases. It comprises of hydrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, argon, neon, helium, etc. And its movement on the earth's surface from an area of high pressure to an area of low pressure is called a wind. Which instrument is used to measure the wind speed and the direction of wind? Let's see. An anemometer keeps a record of wind speed, while a wind vane measures the directions of the wind. Wind vane is used to measure the direction of wind, and anemometer is used to keep the record of wind speed. Winds are named after the directions from which they blow. That is, when wind blow from northern, when the winds blow from the northern or southern sides, they are known as the north or south winds. The rotations of the earth causes a Carolus effect by deflecting the winds from their original path. Due to the earth rotation, winds are deflected to the right in the northern hemisphere and to the left in the southern hemisphere, which is known as the Ferrel's law. So, the deflections of the winds to the right in the northern hemisphere and to the left in the southern hemisphere is known as Ferrel's law. The three kinds of permanent wind system are planetary winds, periodic winds, and local winds. So these are the system of winds: planetary winds, periodic winds, and local winds. Let me know about the planetary wind. Planetary wind. Planetary winds, number one. Number two is a periodic winds. and number 3 is the local winds. These are the systems of winds. Planetary winds blow from high pressures belts to low pressure belts. So the winds which blow from high pressure belts to low pressure belts throughout the year is called planetary winds. They are also known as prevailing or permanent winds, trade winds, westerlies, and polar winds are the three major types of periodic winds or periodic winds. Trade winds. These winds blow from these major types of planetary winds, trade winds. These winds blow from subtropical high pressure belts to the equatorial low pressure belts. They are also known as the northeast trades in the northern hemisphere and southeast trades in the southern hemisphere. They blow towards the equator and keep becoming warmer with an increase in the capacity to hold moistures, hence they keep drying the surface along which they blow. Thus they bring rain only to the eastern part of the continents and remains offshore in the western part of the continents. Polar winds. Polar winds are cold and dry winds which blow from the polar high pressure to subpolar low pressure belts. Polar winds are cold and dry winds blow from the polar high pressure to subpolar low pressures belts. In the northern hemisphere, they blow from the northeast directions and are known as the northeast polar winds. In the southern hemisphere, they blow from the southeast directions and are known as the southeast polar winds. Westerlies. Westerlies blow from the subtropical high pressure belts to the subpolar low pressure belts. In the northern hemisphere, they blow from the southwest directions and are known as southwesterlies. In the northern hemisphere, they blow from the northwest directions and are known as northwesterlies. Since they blow from warmer regions to cooler regions, they bring plenty of rain to the western coast of continents. Due to absence of land in the southern hemisphere, these winds are referred to as roaring forties. Around 40-degree latitude, the furious 50s around 50-degree latitudes and screeching 60s around 60 degrees latitude. Periodic wind. Periodic or seasonal winds. Periodic wind is also called seasonal wind. Periodic and seasonal winds are those winds that blow in a particular directions during a particular period of time. They change their directions directions periodically. Variations of temperature over land and water influence local air pressures. In summer, interiors of continents are warmer and have a low pressures, while oceans are cooler in winter with high pressures on land, with high pressures on land. Oceans are cooler in the winter with high pressure on land and low pressures on oceans. Due to the pressures differences in summer, moisture bearing winds blows from sea to land, while in winter dry winds blow from land to sea. The monsoon winds that affect the Indian subcontinent are the best example of periodic winds. Land and sea breezes are also periodic winds which are caused by variations in the heating of land and water and blow in a coastal area. Local winds almost everywhere in the world, certain winds with special characteristics blow over a small area for a short durations of time. They are caused by local variations in temperatures, are seasonal in nature, and are often known by their local names. In India, the Loo. In India, the Loo, a hot, dry wind from the Rajasthan desert blow over the northern plains, making some days in May and June exceptionally hot. In North America, the Chinook is a warm, dry wind which melts snow on the eastern side of the Rocky Mountains. In Europe, the foreign effects of this wind hasten Foreign blows across the Alps in winters. The warming effect of this wind hastens the ripening of grapes which grows in these regions. The chili pampero in Argentina, the strong and cold mistral in France, and the willy wave in South America are some other local winds. So these are the local winds. Variable winds, dear students, some winds are not regular. They kept changing in their directions and may be of short durations. Around low pressure systems, whirling masses of air often develop into storms around low pressure systems. These are strong winds that revolve around the center of the low pressure area and are accompanied by torrential rain and thunderstorms. Warm ocean waves usually fuel such storms. Warm ocean waters usually fuel such storms. The inward spiraling winds rotate counterclockwise in the northern hemisphere and clockwise in the southern hemisphere. Humidity, humidity. Now we are going to study about it. Humidity. That's sufficient today. More we will discuss in the next video. Thank you for listening me. Have a great day to all of you. Take care on your study and also take care on your health. Have a great day.